good to always remind ourselves that these are only thoughts.
Yeah.
And these thoughts are not us, and any thought, any feeling can be changed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Back in the Game, where we're going to talk about the life of mother and the change of life of women after they become mothers, basically. So today we're here with Raquel Lisboa, that is a self-development specialist that focuses exactly on mothers and on helping mothers to get back into their careers, also to help them improve their self-confidence, because many mothers experience actually a quite decrease in their self-confidence, and they feel maybe they are staying back in other fields of life like career or also productivity, friendships, and so on. So we're here with her to talk about it. So hello
Hello,
Raquel.
first
How are
of
you?
all, hello, I'm good, thank you. Hello, everyone. First, I want to say welcome to this podcast, everybody. I hope people can take advantage of this conversation and have beautiful and positive insights after hearing us. So, yes, let's talk about that. As you already said, I work with women, more specifically with mothers, and to get back to their careers and to strengthen their self-confidence and so on.
And may I ask why you're so interested specifically in helping mothers?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, well, to answer that question, I have to give you a little bit of a background on my story. So there were some times in my life where I felt really lost and disconnected from myself. So I felt like I needed to seek for answers. And at one point, I decided to hire a mentor for myself. And I wanted to have a woman as a mentor. So she would understand me better. Yeah, I had some criteria. Maybe in another episode we go deeper onto that. But I had some criteria, and one of these criteria was I need a woman to help me. And she helped me so well. We went through a very deep journey of self-awareness. And by the end of this journey, I found out that I wanted to be a mentor as her. And that I wanted to help people the same way as she helped me. And then she told me, Raquel, with your story, you can help so many other people. So just own your story, use your story. And I thought like, yeah, that's amazing. That's exactly what I want to do. So I went through trainings and everything. And then I thought with myself, as a woman who went through so many struggles or so many experiences, I want to use the same life experience that I had as a way to connect with other women. So for me as a woman, it's easier to connect with them, so I can easily put myself in their shoes, and I can feel better their pain, their struggles. So it's easier to understand, to connect with them, and to advise them, to guide them, basically. And I'm not saying that a person who is not a woman, or a person who didn't go through the same struggles as the others, they can also help people because they have the knowledge, they have the technique.
Yeah.
But I think it's about connection, connection for me, from me to them, and from them to me. They feel more comfortable because they know that I went through something similar to them. And then this is how it started. So I was helping women, and then I became a mother. So now it's another story.
Other struggles.
Exactly. You know very well. So it's an extra layer. And then that's how I went specifically to help mothers. Now I understand the struggles of the motherhood, and then I can help those mothers. That doesn't nullify what I was doing before. So basically, a person who doesn't have kids can also benefit from this podcast and from the work I do. I continue to work with other women who are not mothers, because still, I have the knowledge from before, the experience from before. But now, yes, I have this public, this target audience, let's say. And then, yes, that's how I'm here.
So you said actually something very important, which is that you basically try to take what was good in the struggles that you went through, so that you can help someone else. And that's actually very important, because I strongly believe that any struggle that we go through, there is some lesson that we take from it, some good that we take from it, and that others can benefit from it. And just like me, you, or anyone has struggles in their life, of course, and we have to try to get the best out of them, because either way, we will actually be lost in our struggles, and we lose the orientation of our life, or where are we going, why are we here, and so on. But if we take the struggles as a way to improve ourselves, to help the life of other people that maybe are going through the same struggle, they're not being able to get out of it, there is someone that hopefully can help you.
So. Absolutely, I totally agree, and that's one of the things I live my life by that. You know, I believe everything happens for a reason in our lives. I strongly believe on that. Everything comes with a purpose. Even if we don't understand now, or we understand later, or we never really understand, but it comes with a purpose. And I believe everything that happens, it's an opportunity for us to learn. But it's up to us, how do we take these opportunities? You know, if we take, and if we don't take. So I think that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of the process of evolution for all of us. So take these opportunities, grow from it, see what it can be done, see what can be learned through that. So the next level is, once you learned with that experience, how can you use that to help others? And if I can share just a little metaphor that I learned once, is like the metaphor of a bottle. So when you are inside the bottle, you cannot see the label. So sometimes you need the help of an external person to help you to read that label, you know? So sometimes we're not able to get out or to read what is that, but you need an extra help. It's the same like when I was going through the biggest struggles of my life, I always felt I'm in the middle of the hurricane. I know this is chaotic, but I know there is something outside, but I need some help to get out of it, you know? So that's the thing. It's the work within us and the work that we do for others, and also us accepting the help of others.
That's very important, yes. Then let's get into the core of our topic. So why do so many talented women or skilled women feel almost like failures, basically, after they become mothers? What happens?
Yes, that happens a lot, actually. The thing is, let's say you were living your life in a certain level, let's put it, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but you were living in a certain level, let's say, of this video game. Let's say in the video game, you are in this level. And then you became a mother, you go to the next level, you know? So there are new challenges, there are new things that is happening that you didn't face before, and that you still don't master. So that makes you self-doubt yourself, because it's something completely new most of the times. And that's how many women, they tend to think like, can I actually do this? You know, am I good enough? Even like very successful women or very strong women, they might doubt themselves, you know? And the thing is, what is very important also for us to understand is that the motherhood will expose the self-doubts that were already there. So basically, there are things that we think that it's solved already, that it's left in the past, but when motherhood comes, it might bring it back, you know? So for example, when some judgments of people, of your family, of random people, like these advices that we never asked for, or the judgment that we know that they are always there in the motherhood. So when they come, they hit that inner voice, which is already in your mind, but you thought was silenced. But then that inner voice comes back, and then makes you self-doubt. You know, for example, somebody says like, well, you know, I don't think you were raising this kid very well. And then it hits that voice, which is already inside of you, thinking like, oh, am I good enough? You know, am I a good mother? So the voice that before used to say, am I good enough? Like, do I do things good? Now it becomes like, am I a good mother? Am I doing this right? You know, so it's It brings things, and those thoughts become new thoughts, but based on those past self-doubts. That's the thing. But the good thing is that we can train that. We can always change, and we can train our mindset. And if we make our, let's say, our mindset stronger, and if we strengthen our self-confidence, then we can change this whole scenario.
For many, I think many think it's really hard to believe that you can change what is going on in your mind, because maybe we're so used to thinking a certain way that we start to identify ourselves with our thoughts. Well, it's not so. Our thoughts can change, and we have the choice. It's hard. It takes effort, psychological effort, even emotional effort. It's really hard. Yes, sometimes it's really hard, but it is possible. And maybe at the end, it does not even look as hard as our fear was making us it look like. It's a strange sentence the way
I get it. Yeah, it's sometimes it's easier than we thought.
Yeah, because the fear amplifies it.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And the thing is, as you said, like, we think this voice, it's us. We think all these thoughts, feelings, it's us. But it's good to always remind ourselves that these are only thoughts, and these thoughts are not us. And any thought, any feeling can be changed.
Yes.
It depends on us. It requires trainings. It requires patience.
Mercy towards ourselves also, not to be so hard on ourselves, so perfectionist also sometimes.
Exactly. But it is so much possible. And most of the times, those thoughts, they were not even originated from us. It came from other people.
True.
By, like, we listen so often those things, and that we actually convince ourselves that we believe on that.
They become like our inner voices, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's important to know that. But we can change. It can change anytime.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier about the fact of being a good mother, but what does that mean? And what defines a good mother? And specifically, I would like to ask you, why is this good mother myth, so to say, so toxic at the end?
Yeah. So I would say it's so toxic because we actually don't see it as good mothers. It may be labeled as good mothers, but we might think as a perfect mother. So basically what we look for is to be perfect mothers. And that's why it's so toxic, because there is no such a thing as perfection. We are humans and we are imperfect, so we will never reach that that level of perfection, because it doesn't exist. So it's toxic, because and then we will constantly try to reach something that is not there. So it brings frustration. Nobody can. So that's why it becomes so toxic. And the concept of a good mother, as I said, it's being confused by this good mother, but actually the people want to say or see it as the perfect mother. While I see the good mother is the one who is there, present with her kids. And when I say present, it doesn't really mean the physical presence all the time. When I say presence, is about the quality time you spend with your kid. It's how you dedicate yourself to that within your limits, and with the possibilities that you have. So I believe the good mother concept that we should adopt is, I will do my best with what I have. So I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. You've just reminded me of a psychology I was listening to one time that said that even this concept of good mother is relatively subjective, because she said, for example, I don't prepare pancakes every Sunday for my kids. I do something else. Maybe other mothers are going to be not are going to be, how can I say? Maybe other mothers, to show love to their kids, they prepare the pancakes. Maybe some other mothers do something else. So we don't have to compare ourselves to other mothers, right?
Yeah. So that's how it comes to do the best with what you can, with what you have. So one will be a good mother in her own way. You're gonna be a good mother in your own way.
Yeah.
I do different things, you do different things, and that's what it makes it the whole thing special, you know, like and beautiful. So we connect with our kids in our own ways.
So related to what you were saying earlier, a question just came to my mind. So many of us don't feel like we're ourselves anymore. We don't feel the way we used to feel. We're even not that active the way we used to be sometimes, or in general, we can't find ourselves. We don't basically feel ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
So why does it happen?
So this connects with some things that we said already in the beginning, which is like, let's consider this as a video game, let's say, you know, now you are in a different level. So now you face different struggles, different experiences. So that will require new skills from yourself, which you may not be used to it. Maybe you were not using that before. Yeah. So then this is one of the reasons why you don't feel like yourself anymore. Now also your reality is different, so you don't feel the same as before. But I think here we have to be very careful, because when we say, I'm not myself anymore, sometimes it brings this heavy weight that the self past was a better version of you, and now the current version is not good enough, you know, while your past self was good, and it was good for that time.
Yeah.
But now you have your current self, which is also good and probably stronger than the one before.
You got a point there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the thing is, we have to see now, even when we yell, even when we are very nervous, and when we don't even like ourselves, if we see it from another perspective, that actually this is a good thing, because it's bringing you the opportunity to solve the issues that were hidden there, that were there from a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
It just feels so uncomfortable.
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, that nobody likes that. It's not, I won't say it's a beautiful thing in the core, because we don't feel comfortable. But if you see it like deeper, it can be a beautiful thing, because it's an opportunity for you to solve your issues, to you know, to get better skills, and also opportunities for you to show your kid how human you are. True. How humble you are. Yeah. When you go and after you yell, and then you go to them, you explain to them about feelings, you say sorry, you explain to them like that wasn't right, you know, but mama is also human, mama is also learning. Yeah. So it brings a lot of opportunities within this, you know. So that brings the new version, the updated, I would say, the updated version of yourself that carries the past self, but has the touch of the new self.
You're enriched at the end.
Exactly. No? Yeah.
And I think what you were saying about children, for example, we yell at them, then we go and we say sorry. Our children can also learn what to do after they make a mistake, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if we act in a proud way, like, yes, I yell at you, and
that's it.
Yeah. What I say is low, basically. You can't say anything against.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to learn certain things. But if we, as you said, we say, sorry, I felt like this, it was a mistake, because I can feel, for example, I don't know, angry, but doesn't mean that I have to yell, and so on. So we are teaching them, even when we make mistakes, we're teaching them, and not teaching something necessarily negative, you know. As you said, you can always, just the struggles, they look negative, but we can turn them into something good. Exactly. Also, our mistakes, we can turn them into something good.
Exactly. So that's how I say, like, it's all opportunities. It's all opportunities for you and for the kids, you know. And then also, like, people tends to say, like, we teach everything to the kids. But actually, when the kids comes, they come and teach us so many things, you know. But we have to see it that way, and we have to take the opportunity. So it's both way learning, you know. And that's the beautiful side.
Yeah. So Raquel, do you know a way, a method? Do you have a tool to help maybe mothers to, you know, to be maybe to see themselves in a better way, you know, maybe to be less judgmental, for example, to see themselves as they really are, and not as their inner voices, judgmental inner voices are telling them who they are, you know?
Yes. That's a very good question. There are many tools, actually, to be honest, but I'm gonna share with you just a very simple one, just to start helping already the mothers out there. Okay, so basically you're gonna take a post-it or a paper with a tape or whatever, something that you can stick on your mirror, and you're gonna write in this post-it things that you would like to hear when you are feeling down. So, for example, you like to hear that you are strong, or you like to hear you can do this, or you like to hear don't give up. Phrases that are impactful for you, that if somebody tells you, it will have a good impact on you. So write down those phrases in this post-it, stick it on your mirror, and read it every day. Every day when you look to yourself in the mirror, repeat those words for yourself, those statements for yourself. Repeat, repeat, and repeat over and over again. I know that in the beginning, it may sound a little weird if you are not used to it, or you might think that there is no point on doing this, or there is no result out of that. But trust me, we only have this inner voice in our minds because we heard statements repetitively. We heard things over and over again until we convinced ourselves. So now we have to do the same, but with positive thoughts. So keep this post-it on your mirror, repeat to yourself every day. And when you feel down, repeat those words. This already helps you so much. You will see it. Start from there. That's the first step. And one thing I want to say is I have an invitation actually for the people who is hearing this podcast. I created a VIP WhatsApp group in both languages. I have one group in English and one group in Portuguese. So if you resonate with all these things that we spoke here in this podcast today, join one of these groups. You choose the language. The link will be here in the description of this video. Join us there, and you can get extra information, you can get extra knowledge, extra tips with regards to this topic of motherhood, productivity, self-confidence, and career. I will be very happy to have you guys there. And yeah, let's make this community stronger. So thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, and I hope to see you guys again in the next episode.